Hello, Meteor.
Hello, Meteor.
Have you heard about the website called Discovery.com?
Discovery.com is my guidebook for life. I learned how to plant an herb garden, train my dog, and cure my dandruff.
I learned that most meteors burn up in Earth's atmosphere. Ah! The atmosphere! Ah!
The atmosphere!
Ammonites. The ammonites are a group of extinct marine mollusks of the class Cephalopoda. They are closely related to living octopuses, squid, cuttlefish, and the shelled nautilus species. Ammonites appeared during the Devonian, and the last species vanished in the Cretaceous. Ammonite fossil shells usually take the form of planospirals, although some helically spiraled and non-spiraled forms have been found. Ammonites are distinguished by their septa, that's the dividing walls that separate the chambers in their shell, or phragmocone. All ammonites show gently curving sutures, and there are three major types of suture patterns to be found within them. The first being goniotitic, which are undivided lobes and saddles, typically 8 lobes around the shell. Second, cerotitic, which are lobes having subdivided tips, giving them a sawtooth appearance and rounded undivided saddles. And third, amniotic, which are lobes and saddles that are much subdivided, fluted. The subdivisions are usually rounded instead of sawtoothed. Because the ammonites are extinct, little is known about their way of life. Their soft body parts are rarely preserved as fossils, but much about ammonites has been learned by examining their shells and by using models of these shells in water tanks. Ammonites lived in the open water of ancient seas rather than at the sea bottom. Based on their fossils are often found in rocks laid down under conditions where no bottom-dwelling life is found. Some ammonites were good swimmers with flattened, discus-shaped, streamlined shells, while some were less effective swimmers and were slow-swimming bottom dwellers. Ammonites fed on plankton and avoided predation by squirting ink, much like modern cephalopods. The soft body of an ammonite occupied the largest segments of the shell at the end of the coil. The smaller earlier segments were walled off and the animal could maintain its buoyancy by filling them with gas. The chambered part of the ammonite shell is called a phragmocone. It contains a series of progressively larger chambers called camerae that are divided by thin walls called septa. Only the last and largest chamber, the body chamber, was occupied by the living animal at any given moment. As it grew, it added newer and larger chambers to the open end of the coil. A thin, living tube called the siphuncle passed through the septa, extended from the ammonite's body into the empty shell chambers, through which there was a hypersomatic active transport process. The ammonite emptied water out of these shell chambers. This enabled it to control the buoyancy of the shell and thereby rise or descend in the water column. Soft parts of ammonites are known to have fossilized in some very rare cases. Information learned from these rare specimens tell us that they had a radula and a beak, 10 arms with hook-like suckers, and had a crop for food storage. They are unlikely to have dwelt in fresh or brackish water, and many were filter feeders. Few ammonites occurring in the lower and middle Jurassic period reached 9 inches in diameter. In Europe, much larger forms can be found in rocks of the upper part of the Jurassic and the lower part of the Cretaceous, reaching from 2 to 6.5 feet in diameter. The largest documented North American ammonite reached 4.5 feet in diameter. Thank you for watching.